And welcome to another episode of Football Tussle. As you can see, it's us two usual suspects. But yes, it was a interesting, eventful weekend. Had a few games in the Prem and then explosive stuff in the FA Cup. We will come to those when we can. But let's start with what happened at, what was it? Southampton versus Bournemouth, was it? No, no, not Southampton, Bournemouth. Blow myself. Southampton Spurs. Southampton Bournemouth, I picked for relegation. But let's talk about that. The meltdown off the pitch and the meltdown on the pitch. What did you think of that game there? Southampton Bournemouth there. No, Southampton Spurs. Keep saying Southampton Bournemouth as well.
Who knows? I don't know. You got the script right in front of you. I don't know why you're still getting it wrong. But
It's true.
and attention to details there. But maybe that's the same thing. Spurs faced attention to
Not great
detail.
at.
But I would say, look, it was about time this season. I think Spurs played Bournemouth this season, and Bournemouth were, I think, 3-1 up, and the Spurs came back to do the same. But it just shows you, look, the Spurs are a mess, and I think like for the last, in fact, maybe since when Pochettino left, they've been papering around the cracks and just plastering it and plastering it and plastering it. But it comes a point you can't have Spurs had two great managers back to back in Mourinho and Conte now, and this is going to be the first time in their careers where they're going to end up being trophyless. But if I was to just bring it back to the game, it was a good game, but the defense at Spurs is awful. Would you expect? Would you honestly expect? The reason why he was tired of seeing Eric Dyer every week, and you look at the defense, you got Eric Dyer, Langley, and Sanchez, and
Davis, you name it.
And you want to.
But still, it's still no excuse not to be able to hold on to a 3-1 lead against the bottom of the table side there still.
The midfielders poor. The midfielders poor.
Yeah, but are Southampton's defense better than that? But at the end of the day, Spurs, as Conte said in his meltdown, what is this meltdown number 3 or outburst number Mark 4 or whatever, where he finished what's it called, Daniel Levy and the owners that they're not used. They're used to be playing under no pressure. 20 years or plus with no trophies. Players are selfish. You name it. But for me, there was majority of it was the truth. Obviously, Conte's got some kind of part of blame because he's the manager anyway. Still, but
you need to improve the players.
You're too defensive-minded football. But still, you play defensive-minded football and you're still conceding goals. Even so, but for me,
I don't think they could play. I don't think they could play. They could be more offensive than what they already are. They'll be blitz everywhere.
They are, but that's it. By the end of the day, for me, Spurs are cursed anyway. As you said, they've had Mourinho, they've had them. What's it called now? Conte, that are serial winners at other clubs. Spurs are this cursed that they can't win anything.
On the CV, or blemishes now, they all stink.
It is what it is. For me, what's it called? I don't expect him to last the end of this week, let alone be there by April the 1st, there for the return of the Prem. So I think he's
might last. Yeah. Leave might torture him by keeping him in the job because I think he wants out.
Either way, Conte doesn't care anyway because Conte's only got 3 months left of the contract anyway. So it's not like he's going to lose any sleep anyway. Yeah. If it was like 2 years or 3 years, then maybe. But Conte at the end of the day doesn't care if he comes or goes or whatever at this time. For me, I'm hearing reports that Poch come back. Why would you? I mean, Poch, he's another one that never won anything. I think he won maybe there's something with PSG, maybe the league, whatever, League One or whatever they call it. But for me, he's not gonna turn around the what's happening over there. The curse is still there. But anyway, we'll watch that space. Good point for Southampton there still, but they need at this stage of the season they need more than 1 point, especially at home. But that's a free hit because no one was expecting them to get anything. But they're still my favourites to go down. Spurs now, there's no guarantee of finishing fourth because the likes of Newcastle got a couple of games in hand. I think Brighton's got 3 games in hand, and also Liverpool's got a couple of games in hand. So they're not in control of their destiny. But we'll watch that space. I don't know if you've got anything else to say on that one.
No. I'm just saying that Pochettino, you don't go back.
Yeah, there you go. Still, because the curse of going back sometimes.
The curse of going back, it shows career stagnation. That you try to move on to better things, and you're back to where you started. And the Spurs, he left. about 3 years ago or whatsoever, it's not the same team. Or it's not the same Spurs. It's not the same Spurs you left about 3-4 years ago. So
No, I
big,
don't know if they're
big
worse or they're slightly worse or whatever. But
yeah,
yeah,
they're
moving on
worse.
to moving on to what's it called? Arsenal there, Arsenal's destruction of managersless Crystal Palace. We were saying last week, and I was saying last week, and we've been saying it for a while. I said in last episode, Vieira. Well, I said, Vieira, be careful.
There's
I
still
didn't
a
know
still,
that.
still
I
a
didn't know
panic
that they were
button.
going to give him the elbow.
Still panic. You know what Parish was saying that we all love Vieira, and but listen, we have to make
It's
sure
all lies.
it's crap. But I would say that was still they pressed the panic button because I still stand by it. Crystal Palace, all these games where they had loads of draws and they lost it. They weren't blitzed. They weren't dismantled. Obviously, Arsenal done a number on them because they were managerless the other day. But all these games, they were close games. They gave teams a run for the money. So I feel like Vieira was, yes, people say, okay, cool, he hadn't had a win since January, but he still could turn that around, man. You tell me you can't pick one win there and another win there.
It's true.
For me, I think for me that was pan. That was. I know you said they were in trouble. They're gonna go to relegation, but I still feel that was a panic.
Yeah,
Decision.
yeah, definitely a decision. But for me,
yeah.
I did say I did have that feeling that what's it called? I think that they obviously they knew that they were going to lose to Arsenal, so I don't know why they sacked him then. I mean, before then against Brighton. But for me, you look at the fixtures after the international break. They've got the likes of Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, Southampton. The first fixture, I think, is against Leicester. If I would have waited for the Leicester game, lose against Leicester, then maybe that's it. There's only so much you can give him because obviously he's the manager as well. I know it's been tight, but unfortunately, it's a good guy. What's it called, Vieira? But they do say sometimes good guys in life they don't get sometimes what they deserve. But it's one of those things there. But Arsenal did put them to the sword there, and once again, Arsenal getting goals from all angles. Martinelli has been a revelation since he's been dropped and come back in the team. Trossard doing assists there. Saka, who's been their best player all season there. He's the first player to reach 10 goals and 10 assists this season in the Prem, I think, for all players there. So he's breaking records there. Saka there still.
He's making it look easy. The guys
he is, what's it called? So sometimes he can have a little breather in the game and let maybe Martinelli or Odegaard do the stuff in recent games, and now he stepped up in this game. So what's it called? As I said, it's in the last couple of episodes. I said it. Get this 8 points lead. It's mental on what's it called, Pep and Man City when they return from the international break there still because they've got a big game there still.
And I just want to say is a testament to what Arteta has done. I feel like many players are in this magnificent run by Arsenal have been underappreciated. And I want to mention a player that I've probably not mentioned all season, and that would be Ben White. I feel like Ben White has been wonderful. The games where he's not played Arsenal, it's been evident that Arsenal struggle. You look at it, especially the game, the biggest game where we played Man City and they brought Tomiyasu in. Tomiyasu was a 4-4, I think 2 of the goals. Ben White has been amazing. He's comfortable on the ball.
Oh yeah.
You forget he's a centre back playing a right back, comfortable on the ball. He's getting assists. He even did an assist the other day to Saka, and I just feel I don't know what's going on with the England setup.
I think because what happened in the World Cup, there's some kind of what's it called, because it's all in the background.
Some friction happened. I don't know why it's not been picked.
But you know how that works. We've seen it with Aubameyang and previous managers of other teams. Yeah. Once you're in that bad books, that's it. It doesn't matter what form you're in. For me, he's been up there in the top 2 or top 3 right backs in the Premier League this season. Yeah. And unfortunately, because of what happened at the World Cup, that's come back to haunt him. We're gonna I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to talk about England, but it's the same old nonsense anyway with the team that Gareth Southgate I mean, what's it called, got. But well done to Arsenal. As I keep saying, that's another tick off the page. What's it called now? What is it? Is it 10 games to go? So there you are. All you need to do is it's in your own destiny. Keep winning, and then sooner or later, before you know it, Man City can't get you. And then the champagne is no longer on ice.
it wouldn't be easy because of you look at it, the run and
Of the
stuff.
fixtures, but to win
Fixtures.
titles, you have to come through these what's it called stuff
I
there.
think
If you really eat the hunger, for
yeah, I
me,
think
the
go
two
on.
games that are difficult are the away trips to the Etihad and Anfield. The
Anfield.
other games, what's it called? Arsenal should be confident, even in those two tough games. Arsenal will still go into those games with confidence, even though their record against Man City is awful.
I would say most crucial. I would say not thinking that far ahead will be the next game for Arsenal. I think the next game for Arsenal, we need to win that
Leeds,
game against
yeah,
Leeds. We need
definitely.
to beat Leeds because Man City are playing Liverpool, and we open Liverpool does a favour, or at least make them drop 2 points at least. If they drop two
If not
points,
all three, yeah. So
if they drop
it's a
2 points,
crucial stage.
we could be at least
Yeah, April,
nine
April,
points, 9 points,
yeah, April is the defining month for Arsenal anyway.
9 points.
But we'll keep an eye on that. It'd be interesting if we'll talk about Crystal Palace if they can find a replacement manager during this what's it called international break. If not, they're gonna be because at the moment Crystal Palace are in free for all at the moment. Still, there's them and the other team that's yet to win in 2023 is Forest Green of League One. I think they're bottom of the league anyway. So that's the company that Crystal Palace is rubbing up shoulders with. Forest Green of League One or whatever. But that's rotten stuff there. They just need to sort that out. They can't score. They're struggling they can't defend. It's a recipe for disaster. They're lucky that some of these other teams are still a little bit further away, but be careful anyway. But yeah, moving on there still. Try and fly through the other results there. How did Bournemouth beat Liverpool? They're doing their own after the Lord Mayor's show. They beat Liverpool the 2 weekends ago, and then they got good evening, good afternoon from the informed Villa. Villa are now informed. They're so informed. You look at the table; they've crept up the table. They're mid-table, and they're on the same points as 600 million Todd Brewster's Chelsea. There, just below them on goal difference. And Villa in a bit of form now. They picked up a bit of form, and Bournemouth have just gone back to normal. What can you say on that game?
It's as simple as that. That Aston Villa, Emery is doing his work quietly. Aston Villa, we've said this before. He's a good manager. Don't be surprised if they sneak into Europe or get a Europa League conference, and he goes on to win that because he's that capable. Fair enough, he didn't have the best relationship with ourselves, the Gunners, but I feel like what he's done with Aston Villa is he's actually played a consistent formation. He's made Watkins, score at least in his last 6 games, and I'm surprised Watkins didn't score this game, but he got an assist, and just a testament of what he's doing at Aston Villa. Still playing the same players that were conceding right, left, and center. And
under Gerrard, yeah,
and apart from the left back, he's able to show that up. But Bournemouth,
there you go.
Bournemouth are doomed for relegation. I don't know how they're going to do it. They really gave Arsenal and Liverpool a run for the money.
Well, they disgraced Liverpool actually. They gave Arsenal a scare.
But these are the games that you expect them to be winning. These are the games you expect them to, not to lose. But listen, they got a result last week.
But for me, what's it called? As I said, their favourites to go down with their neighbours in Southampton. But we'll see how that goes. Moving on to the other game, what's it called? Brentford versus Leicester. I thought it wasn't the best of games there. Brentford didn't play that well. I mean, but it was a good away point for out of form Leicester. They're take any little help they can at the moment because, as I said, they're in poor form anyway. And he's another manager that's under big fire, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I think many managers at the end of the season they really need to really consider what they're doing with themselves. Leicester have been so poor, and then they went through the little good patch where we thought they were back, and now they win 5 games, losing back to back, and then now they held that with a draw. So many teams are looking forward to the end of the season, and I feel Rodgers needs to really think
he's one of them. Yeah, definitely. Brentford there, what's it called? It was a VAR, and what's it called? Got the right decision on the red card for Baptiste there. I think he came on as a sub there still. Picked up 2 yellow cards there, and it was a correct decision there. Moving on to your proclaimed manager there. What's happening with him? Proclaimed. Wolves 2, Leeds 4. I thought, what's it called? What's happening there? It was goals galore there still. Not only goals galore, there was two red cards there as well. One for a player that deserved it, Johnny, and then the other one was for Matthias Nuez or whatever. He's on the bench as well, and he got one for what's it called, ungentlemanly, unsportsman behaviour there, foul language and stuff. So Leeds, I mean, Wolves need to be careful there with what's happening there. They're a bit far. I mean, they're not far. They're what, 3 points above relegation, so they're in there. They're in there. They're among those 8 teams. Big 3 points for Leeds.
The Premier League table is so tight. It's so tight. I think for both teams, should I say Wolves, Leeds, Crystal Palace, the next games they need to pick up that W, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because what's it called? Especially when you're playing against another relegation rival. These are 6 pointers. You can't afford to be, if you want to try and get away, you can't be losing to someone, especially they're coming from behind.
Exactly.
So we'll see how that goes there still. And well, I think that was the last of the Premiership games there. Let's quickly move on to
Chelsea Everton.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Chelsea.
You're a mess there.
Well, what's it called? It was a long weekend, a long tiring weekend. What's it called? And there you go. Still, as you know what happened.
Don't bring it to work, my friend.
Well, I'm what's it called? They're even lucky that I'm around the water anyway. But yeah, Chelsea Everton there. They thought that Chelsea had turned the corner. You did say last week there. It's only 3 wins. It's only 3 wins. The real Graham Potter has returned. His magic dust ran out. So for me, that was down to poor management with for making nonsense substitutions there. Yeah, why are you taking off Fofana? Why is Felix been taken off every game? And then Koulibaly, did you see him on the goal that Young Sims scored to make it 2-2 there? Koulibaly was brushed off like he was a lightweight. It was a disgraceful attempt to try and defend. So what? Yeah, go on. You can put your what's it called?
No, I concur, man. I feel that the substitutions were poor. You beat me to that. And every 2 things I noticed from him there, every week I keep seeing Gallagher coming on.
There's no need.
There's no need.
He says it's tactical because he can break up play and do some driving. It's poor.
Stop poor. It's poor.
Gallagher is not a Chelsea top player. Like top 6. He's like a mid-table Aston Villa or down there. Get back to Crystal Palace. They miss you.
He wouldn't even get into the Villa team. I tell you that for sure.
No,
he wouldn't get.
It get into Crystal Palace. So for me, what's it called? Everton. That's a good.
And then and just the last thing as well. He had once again, Chelsea had Midrick, who didn't even come off the bench.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You take off Phoenix. Why didn't you bring on Mudryk? He said he came. He did it to a tactical substitutions, but it backfired, and that's what happens there. Still moving on. A good point for Everton. As any point for like some of these teams there. Especially away to Chelsea, is still something for them as they try and slowly move away. But they're in the bottom 8 that can still go down. But we'll see how that goes for them in their fight against relegation. Moving on to an eventful FA Cup there still. We had Vincent Kompany returning back to the Etihad. And what did Pep and the players say? Welcome back, brother. But once that whistle goes, you're my enemy.
You're my
enemy. Wow.
Top line there.
What's it called?
Top line.
It is. Six put past them. They scored 7 in midweek where Haaland got 5 like it was some exhibition FIFA 23 game against RB Leipzig. And then against Burnley, it was another FIFA game there still. Haaland, now 42 goals already by middle of March in all competitions. His 6th hat trick of the season. He's running out of space in his room, one of his rooms where he keeps all the footballs there still.
Brilliant from Pep. Pep didn't need to unleash him like that, but
he didn't. He could have started with what's it called, Alvarez and stuff.
But Pep's a beast, and look, it's no coincidence. Kompany came back. and they gave him 6 for and now he's in good company. You get it with Leipzig.
Oh, there you are. Well done. I'm not
So
the only one with the jokes there. Well done. He's in good company with company there
yeah,
still. But yeah, I mean, it was a learning curve. Even though Burnley are running away with the championship, this is a step to another level where he knows that when he does come, when they do get promoted, if he's still there, because they say he's favourite for the Spurs job.
That was never in doubt. When listen, the golfing class is different. Listen, Spurs, Man City are doing this to teams in the Champions League, and they blitz teams in the Premier League. So I knew they were going to lose that game anyway. I thought probably it was going to be about 3-0 or 4, but 6.
Yeah. You know? But yeah, what's it called? They're through as expected to the semi-final there. And we had the other, what's it called? What happened at Old Trafford? Fulham imploded in the space of 2-3 minutes. My goodness. William, one of the most experienced players he is the most experienced player for Fulham because of what he's done in his CV there. Why are you going to do that? The only time I would do that is if it's 1-0 or not even 1-0 near the end of the game, or it's going to be just about to go to penalties, and then you like before extra time, then you do the handball. Don't do it then. It was a poor decision from him. He's trying to hit me here, but when players do that, that it's all lies. He tried it, but VAR and the ref didn't fall for it.
That's the thing. This is like the League Cup. They got VAR, so
yeah. So it was the right decision.
It was the right decision. I ain't gonna lie, but
the rules.
The rules is the rules.
You stopped a goal. Yeah, go on.
No, yeah. I mean, Wheeler should have just let the ball go in, but I guess it's instincts. My problem is, and you might think I'm fetching here, but they've just considered the penalty, so 1-1. They've just lost the player to a red card. Then the Mitrovic incident with the ref, where he's giving the ref a little. I thought the ref was a bit harsh to give him a yellow because
he gave the. What do you say? He gave the ref a what?
No. Just a little push. Push.
It was more that it was.
What
was a push? What was a tap? What a tap was. Fernandez one was different.
No.
Both players. Once you touch our official, both players should be red carded. But as I said previously, like last time, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Both should be red carded. For me, what Mitrovic did was not just a little brush. It was a aggressive push on the shoulder and then abuse to the referee. So for me, you can't. Can you do that to your manager at work and you'll be okay with that? Your manager.
What's the difference?
The difference is what?
There's a difference.
Well, the referee is supposed to be in charge, and you can't be manhandling the referee. For me, at the end of the day, that was a right decision for him to be red carded because you can't have them the young kids aged under 7, under 8, under 9 seeing referees manhandled. Are you saying that that's a yellow card then?
I would have given a yellow card.
No. You can't be. Ronaldo got he got a 5-6 match ban when he was playing for, I think, in Real Madrid for pushing the referee as well.
He did that. No, but that was a proper one.
No. Yellow card is yellow. We agree to disagree on that one. Anyway, for people, what's it called, watching there, you can send in your comments. Was it a yellow card or red card?
They fight to get to the FA Cup semi-finals. I guess
you control yourself. You control yourself.
Man. The ref killed the game.
Well, I think Mitrovic, who is a thug himself, he's got thug instincts.
So you've profiled him then. You've labelled him because he's got thug instincts apparently. So you give him a red.
Well, what's it called? No. He gave him a red because he assaulted the referee. And that's it.
So he assaulted the ref. Give him a proper about assault to the ref. Yeah,
well, he should have. He might as well have. But what's it called? He blew himself. At the end of the day, for me, all the red cards for Fulham were all correct calls. Yeah. Even though it's against Man United, there were correct calls there. Fernandez should have got a red card when he did it against Liverpool. But
so now you're saying that. So now you said that because
we said it in the episode as well.
No. But 2 minutes ago, you just said that there was a difference. One was different.
I said that there was a difference in the level of what's it called of contact. But I said that both deserved red cards because you can't be touching officials. So they both deserve red cards at the end of the day. And also the manager lost himself there as well, coming out of into the VAR monitor box.
Touching officials, if it sounds wrong as well, but they that's been going on for a long time. Players have been doing this. It's been happening for a long time. This ain't no
it's good. It's good that what's it called? That if you maybe you need to watch it again and see if it's more than a little brush. You said it was a brush. It wasn't a brush there still. As I said, that what's it called?
Just that. What's going on? Come on.
In a nightclub, that can cause what's it called? All sorts going on there still.
That's a woman. He's a man. It's a man's game.
Well, I'm talking about to a next man that something going on there. But anyway, what's it called? At the end of the day, Fulham imploded and Man United got out of jail because Fulham for the 75 minutes were the better team. That's how it goes there still. Yeah. Fulham blew themselves. Season's what's it called is slipping, but they're still having a great season regardless of that. Moving on to the other game, formality win for Brighton against the lowest team left in the competition. That was Grimsby, and once again, Mitoma got in on the act. Solly March is having a great march there. Great marching on there for Solly March. Pity he wasn't put into the England team there still. When you got the likes of we mentioned him already. Gallagher's in the team, Henderson's in the team, Eric Dyer's in the team, Maguire's in the team. There's all sorts of gone names in that team. Going back to the same old cracked records. But anyway, that's how it goes. And in the other goal fest game there, Sheffield United came out. What's it called? 3-2 winners there still. So yeah, so that was it. It was action packed. What's it called? Weekend of football there in the Prem as well as the FA Cup there still. Have you got any lasting comments there still?
No, not really, man. Not really. I just say Southgate, you're rubbish as well. Hurry up and get out.
We shake hands on that. Once again, you look at the squad. The squad is anyway.
For me, my thing is not about the squad. My thing, you're just a two-faced guy who said he would pick players based on form and what they were doing and all of this jazz. And then you keep picking the same crap and saying there's no enough.
True.
Are you telling You're telling me, so what? There's not enough centre backs in England. Was Tomori picked?
No. Where's Tomori not picked? Dunk of Brighton not picked. Ward-Prowse not picked. Who else is not picked? Solly March not picked. And then you're still going back to the same old names. How is Henderson in there? What's it called? Mount. Eric Dyer.
No. The Endo. I understand because it's still.
But he's injured.
Yes, injured now, but I understand.
Well, he was injured when he picked him.
Oh, should I shock him? I didn't know that, but I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying, you pick him, he's playing week in, week out. You go people like Maguire that plays once in the blue moon, and you be picking for God knows how long to the World Cup. And now, anyway, let's not talk about that.
Let's not make this episode too longer than it is. But well done, what's it called? Hope you enjoy our episode there still. Once again, with the action-packed weekend there. Arsenal 8 clear. And gunning for their first Prem title in 20 years there. We saw Chelsea once again, Potter loses magic there, and then Everton get a good point there. Bournemouth losing to Villa there, and then Spurs meltdown on and off the pitch, and then we saw the explosive stuff at Old Trafford in the FA Cup there still. So it was good stuff to be watching.
Good stuff indeed.
Enjoy.
You're gonna do your rubbish line every time. Subscribe, blah 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 blah. Anyway, subscribe, guys, and share.